Afternoon, peeps. Good afternoon, everyone. Your boy is back. I got back yesterday afternoon. I feel energized, ready to go. But park all that for a second. What's going on with Chris EUBANK Jr. versus CONOR BENN? What is happening? This video wasn't even supposed to be about this. This video was supposed to be a reaction video to the face-off that came out yesterday. Good response to the face-off, good numbers. Thank you so much for all the messages. We're still going to talk about the face-off because it was enjoyable, right? Me watching it back, it was fun to watch. But what's going on with the fight? Now, EUBANK Senior, a couple of hours ago, bear in mind, I'm just filming this coming to 6 o'clock. A couple of hours ago, EUBANK Senior has come out and said that Chris EUBANK Jr. is not fighting and has pulled him from the fight. That's what came out a couple of hours ago. Said, look, he doesn't want him to make the 157-pound weight limit. It's not safe. He's already lost one son. He isn't prepared to risk losing another. And I can understand that sentiment. Right now, obviously, Chris EUBANK Senior is in a fragile place. In the face-off, you guys would have probably seen the bit where Junior says he's not spoke to his dad for a while. I asked him, like, is your dad going to be in camp with you? He says he doesn't know. Obviously, his dad is in camp now with him. And according to a few people on Twitter, there was a media call today with Senior and Junior and CONOR BENN and Nigel Benn, and that's when EUBANK Senior announced he's pulling his son from the fight. Now, look, this is... Look, firstly, do I think the fight's going to happen October the 8th? Yes, I do. I still think the fight's going to happen. But now, I guess, people behind the scenes, and I haven't heard anything yet from anyone, but people behind the scenes are having sort of big conversations as to what they do. I'm supposed to be speaking to Cali Sowland in 2 hours. I'm going to obviously ask him the questions. As soon as I find out what he says, I'll probably do a video very, very quickly. But look, there's a couple of problems here. Obviously, look, it's a weight that EUBANK Jr. says he can make. You know, he's been very arrogant that he can make the weight, eating fried chicken. You know, I'll start fight camp when I need to start fight camp type attitude. But it's a weight that he's not made since he was a teenager. That's the problem number one. Problem number two, maybe a bigger problem, is that there is this hydration limit that's been put in as well. I think it's 168 pounds. So that's a big problem. So he's having to come down to a weight that he's never made. And then it's a case of, okay, you've made this weight, but then you can't rehydrate properly. And EUBANK Senior knows a lot more than we do about how tough it is making weights. So he's obviously concerned. Some of you will probably be saying, well, why did you sign the contract? And I get all that. I understand what you guys are saying. But this is EUBANK Senior we're talking about. We all know that people say notoriously he's quite difficult to deal with. But this is his son as well. And he has concerns for his son. Now, if there is conversations about, okay, can it be 158? Can it be 159? Then where's the advantage then going to be for CONOR? The advantage for CONOR in this fight, and the reason why this fight makes sense is, okay, I've got to drain him a little bit because I'm a 147 guy. And if I let this guy come in at 160, then, you know, it's me jumping up 2 weight classes. What's the point? I think there might be an argument that says, let him come in at 160, but then he still can't hit that. He can't go past the 168 limit or 169. I can't remember what it was. So maybe you do that. Or you just give him a couple of pounds. You say, okay, you know what? Not 157, 159. Again, I don't know. I'm just thinking of where there can be some wiggle room for this fight, which is one of the biggest fights in years over here, to happen. I also don't think, as much as, you know, over the years, especially early on in EUBANK Jr.'s career, he was always very quiet and his dad pretty much controlled his career. That isn't the case anymore. I think EUBANK Jr. is his own man. There's a lot of money on the table in this fight. And look, you know, he admitted that, you know, he doesn't want to lose this opportunity. So I don't think that even if EUBANK Senior doesn't want him to fight, I don't know if Senior has that much power over Junior anymore to say you're not fighting, and for EUBANK Jr. to say, okay. Do you know what I mean? I don't think he has that kind of power. But you can understand where EUBANK Senior is coming from. Again, he's in a fragile place right now, and it is tough. Getting down to 157 and then not being able to rehydrate however you want to rehydrate. And look, by the way, I don't think Chris EUBANK Jr. is one of those guys that rehydrate 20 pounds or anything like that. He doesn't look like that. Every time you see him in the ring, he's still very much ripped and abs. So I'd be shocked when he normally weighs in at 160. I'd be shocked if he goes over 175. I don't think he's that big. But he still is a lot bigger than Conor Benn. Doing the face-off with the two and seeing the stare down, you can see he is a lot bigger than him. I don't know. I'm not quite sure what's going to happen here. Again, I think behind the scenes, there will be people worried. But I guess the biggest issue right now is that Matchroom and DAZN have got their eyes on something even bigger, and that's Canelo GGG, right? All their focus right now is on a much bigger fight. I mean, EUBANK Ben to us over here is really big, but globally, Canelo GGG is a monster. So look, they're focusing on that, and that fight's happening in 6 days. What am I saying, 6 days? Yeah, 6 days, 5 days. I'm all over the place right now, but their focus is on that. So look, I don't know what to tell you. Just when I say I think the fight's still going to happen, the reason I say that is because normally when something happens in boxing world, especially when it's related to Matchroom or DAZN, I am obviously quite close with the DAZN people, and you know, they will send a message, oh, you ain't going to believe this, or no one's done any of that. No one's done nothing. So I'd be shocked. I expect the fight to go on. And bear in mind, again, I'm recording this at now 6 o'clock. Something could be going on behind the scenes. A tweet could be going out from, I don't know, Matchroom or DAZN or EUBANK or Ben. As it stands right now, I would be very, very shocked if this fight doesn't happen. Very shocked. If you're EUBANK, you can't sign a contract saying you can make 157 and then your dad pulls you out a couple of weeks before the fight. It looks really, really bad. It really does. All right, let's quickly talk about the face-off. Again, thank you for all the feedback. You know, I say that. Look, I don't do anything. I ask a couple of questions and then I sit back and let those guys go at it. And it was interesting. I will kind of give you kind of an insight to what goes on behind the scenes. So I wanted, my request, who am I haven't got much power, but my request was for the face-off to happen, or to be one of the first things those guys do on that day. It ended up being the last thing they did. Bear in mind, they got up at like 7 in the morning, they done Talk Sport, they done other channels, then they done a press conference, then they done interviews with me for DAZN, then they had a little break, then they done other stuff, and then they did the face-off. So I thought I was going to get 2 very, very tired boxers sort of on the last leg, but they gave me some energy. I thought they gave me energy. I thought Chris Eubank Jr. was fantastic. And this is why I get upset with Chris. Like, I think that showed me why I think and why I thought Chris was going to be a superstar. Not necessarily because of his boxing ability. Like, I was never one of those people that thought Chris was going to go fucking through his career unbeaten like Floyd Mayweather or Andre Ward. But I felt like he could always be a big draw because of that personality. And that was fantastic from Chris. I thought Chris was, like, if I had to grade Chris in this face-off, it was 10 out of 10. I thought his one-liners were fantastic. I thought when he needed to turn it up, he turned it up. I thought he was outstanding, as I thought he was outstanding in the press conference. I think he was getting under Conor's skin, but I knew that the way Conor reacted was how Conor was going to react. Conor almost is, look, I just want to fight. I don't want to be here. I don't want to talk. I just want to fight. But it worked. I thought it worked very well. And again, the response has been very, very, very good. I was a bit nervous about how you guys were going to take to it because when I was there doing it, I didn't think it was great. Honestly, I didn't think it was great. And I remember after I sat there for like 20 minutes thinking, oh, for fuck's sake. Like, I've been waiting to do this one forever and it just didn't seem to catch fire. I think the problem is I almost want every face-off to be Froch Groves or which other one was really crazy? Chisora White, the first one. Not everyone's going to be like that, right? And this wasn't like that, but it was still very, very good. And for me personally, it was sort of special to be involved in that. Like, yeah, you just, very, very special to be involved in that. And I think the more I do, the better I'm going to get. Like, I watched loads of Max Kellerman doing his and Johnny Nelson doing his. And I think the key is, you don't want to hear from me. Like, you guys didn't tune in to hear from me. So the more I talk, that means there's a bit of a problem because that means these guys aren't talking. The more I can just ask one little question that gets a reaction from both and then almost sit back and just let them go at it is, I think, the best ones. I think when the media is talking, I'm like, well, why are you talking? Like, let me hear from the fighters, please. And that's kind of what I'm trying to do. But thank you for the response to it. Again, when we think about the fight being off, it would be such a shame because of all the stuff we've done. Remember, I've interviewed EUBANK in Saudi Arabia. He came on the KSI fight. We've obviously done that. There's been numerous press conferences, numerous face-offs. It would be such a shame if after all that, there now is a problem. It would be such a shame. So look, we'll wait and see. I do have my concerns just because, again, I've said it and I'm going to say it again. EUBANK Senior is in a fragile place right now. But I think there are other people involved, the Sowlands, Eddie, Barry, DAZN, Matchroom, EUBANK Jr. himself, that want this fight to go on. And I think that will be enough. Gut feeling, 159. Gut feeling, 159, and then still restrict him about what he can weigh on the night. I do think, I remember when I heard 157 and then he can't come in more than 160, I did think, well, that's going to be tight. That's going to be tight. I know he's not a big middleweight, but that's still going to be very tight. So look, we'll see. I wish I could tell you guys more. I don't know anymore. But again, to give you guys a bit of hope, DAZN no one's reached out to me about anything. Not that I'm that important, but you know, sometimes with events like this, I hear before you guys hear, and I just don't say anything. But this time, genuine hand on my heart, I've not heard anything. So yeah, this fight's gonna go ahead, people. Don't be worried. Don't be worried at all. All right, I am gonna do a video tomorrow about Canelo GGG. I think GGG's got a great chance, but we'll talk about it tomorrow. For now, stay confident, stay positive. This fight's gonna happen. Peace and love.